Today's adventure takes us to Sycamore, Illinois, and to Elmwood Cemetery. Now this cemetery is a very historic cemetery. Goes back to 1865, and actually even before then, because there's some old cemeteries in here, in this area that people were moved to.
Middle-aged bald guy.
It's Bugs Moran, everyone. Bugs Moran from Cemetery Oddities.
How are you doing? I can't believe you're here. I'm always in the cemetery. I haunt this cemetery all the time. And I saw you were here, and I'm like, I've got to go introduce myself. How you doing?
I am doing well.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Have you ever been in this cemetery?
I have never been in this cemetery.
Oh, I've got to show you a few things. There's some really cool stuff here. So yeah,
right.
I didn't mean to interrupt your intro.
Well, this is even better. We're going to take a tour of the cemetery with Bugs Moran today. He decided to come and haunt this cemetery today. Go figure. So let's see what we can find out.
Well, we're standing next to probably a very historical tombstone here, and it's really beautiful. So let's go check out this tombstone here.
All right, let's do that.
All right. So yeah, this is Benjamin Page Sr., and I guess his ancestor, recent ancestor, found out that this gentleman was buried here, and he had to had to tell the Historical Society, and they made these plaques for Benjamin Page.
Look at that, born in 1753. That is a long time ago. It's a couple of years. Here's the story on him. Captain Benjamin Page Sr.
Now what confuses me is it says that he boarded and burned the HMS Gaspee in June 10th, 1772.
Yeah.
Now does that mean he died? But then his death is 1833.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing the way you read it.
Somehow got off the ship, and he was only 19 when he did that too. He was barely 19 when he boarded that ship and burned it, and he must have somehow got off the ship. But that must be his monument there too, right?
Yeah, this is the original monument, and it is just gorgeous.
Wow.
Now this was made in late 1800s. Mm-hmm. And think of the craftsmanship that took to make that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They didn't have power tools.
Yeah, everything's done by hand. And some of these bigger monuments we'll see in the cemetery, it's just amazing how they even move those around. Yeah. All right, let's go check out some other things.
He looks like he was a benefactor of the St. Peter's Episcopal Church, so he was a big, huge monument here.
This monument is a massive obelisk, probably about 20 feet tall, I'm guessing. So I was doing a little research, and this cemetery started 1865.
Yeah.
And in 1867, this was interesting. I guess there was 2 graveyards in this area. And in 1867, they told everybody that had friends in those 2 graveyards, it's time to dig them up and bring them to this cemetery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that often. I've noticed that a lot of cemeteries do this. Mm-hmm. Now we're going into the Ellwood section. In the city of DeKalb and DeKalb County, Ellwoods are a prominent family. The city of DeKalb is called the Barb City, and it's because of barbed wire that Isaac Ellwood, which is buried at Farview Cemetery, and on my channel, I focus on that rose tombstone that's there. It's immaculate rose tombstone, but he's got a big, huge mausoleum there. So if you're ever on First Avenue, south of town, just before 88, that would be a really beautiful cemetery. There's not a lot of old tombstones.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of newer tombstones there.
It's interesting that he was buried in another cemetery and most of his other relatives are buried here. But you see a lot of the Ellwoods here. And Reuben is the name on this obelisk. And Reuben was, he was a U.S. congressman. He was the first mayor of Sycamore.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago. When was that? That was in 1869. All right, Bugs. So you have your own channel on YouTube.
Yes.
What do you do on your channel?
Well, as you all know, that I used to be a mobster in the city of Chicago. And for some reason, I guess my punishment for all the evil I did, I am cursed to walk cemeteries. So I figured, since I'm walking around in cemeteries, and I don't know what cemetery I'm going to end up in, I look for unique tombstones because there's something they don't know about me. I like artwork. I love art. So when I'm ghosting around these cemeteries, I see these beautiful tombstones. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to make a YouTube channel from beyond and show people these unique tombstones and show people and kind of tell some stories of my days of being a mobster. I've been doing this for a long time. So I really enjoy doing it. It's really fun.
That's amazing. So your punishment in the afterlife, your punishment is to help people by showing them these
and
wonderful
remember
tombstones.
People, and remember people. Now the thing is being a ghost, that if there are ghosts in a cemetery, if they see me there, they don't bother me. They leave me alone because I don't know if
I
they're
wouldn't
scared
bother
of
you
me.
either. Oh yeah.
You know, I walk around and it's like I see people, I see other ghosts, and they kind of shy away and stuff. So like, hey, I'm not going to do anything, to you. Kind of block-looking tombstone. Looks like Lego blocks.
Neat. That is neat.
I don't know much about Abram.
Yeah, I don't have many notes on him. Oh, I do have some notes on him. So he was the father. So this is the father. This is the father of Reuben and Isaac.
Okay.
So he was, he had 11 kids.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was a farmer and businessman. And he constructed several sections of the New York Central Railway because they were all from New York. Mm-hmm. They were all born in New York. Came here, I think, back in the mid-1850s. And so, yeah, he was the father, and he started the Ellwood family here. But that is massive. Again, it's like, how do they transport that? I mean, it's transported by horse and carriage, right?
Yeah, and then those pieces, these rock pieces, each at least a half ton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe more. So they had to have pulleys and ropes.
Yeah.
To lift that stuff up with pulleys and ropes and men,
Yeah. And creating like wood structures to pull all that stuff up, and it's quite an undertaking.
No pun intended.
Maybe intended.
And here's another impressive monument. I don't know if you found anything else about this one, or if you could maybe find some stuff about these.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. I did not find anything on this.
This is a beautiful monument, and I think it's pronounced Boynton. The people on my channel know I cannot pronounce last names to save my life.
Well, my channel too. Everyone corrects me on pronunciation.
Yeah, and so I stopped.
Yeah.
I stopped pronouncing. I just said, you guys can pronounce this name.
I said, I'm not an English teacher.
Right. Like, come on.
Right. But this is another one. I think that's one solid piece, isn't it? At least the top piece there was all carved.
Again, the craftsmanship in that era is stunning. How they could do that with chisels and concrete.
That is amazing. And that's got to be 10 feet tall. That is really wonderful. And here's some of the names. Charles, 1826 to 1900. Lucida, which I'm guessing is his wife.
Okay.
And
this is
Frederick.
2 different pieces.
1982. Oh, is that 2 different pieces?
Yeah, this is a bottom base.
Okay.
And as you can see, they lifted this. This is one piece, and they lifted
it up. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
It in there. So
yeah, makes it a little bit lighter.
Half a ton.
Yeah.
To a ton that weighed. That's solid concrete.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Nobody's pushing that over.
No.
It's an amazing cemetery, though. All these old monuments. A lot of these older cemeteries you go into and you'll see just stones that are falling over, and they're that soft limestone. And but these are really ornate.
The city, this is like their crown jewel cemetery, so they make sure these stones are immaculate, well taken care of. It's a park setting. People walk. This is the middle of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's not like on the edge of town. It's right in the middle of town. So people walk in this every day.
And we've seen that now. We've seen people jogging and walking dogs. So it's a really nice park-like atmosphere. And I just want to stop here a second. So Dustin, Everett Dustin, he was actually a brigadier general in the Civil War.
Oh.
And there's a couple of generals in here, which is kind of neat. But I saw that.
Now, is that his grave,
Monument.
actual headstone here with the star?
I'm thinking so.
1861 to 1860. No, that's, he's only out that. Oh, that's
There we
maybe
go.
the years
Yeah.
he served.
Yeah, Daniel. What did I say? Did I say? I can't read my own. I said
Yeah, General
Everett Dustin. Oh, it is Daniel Dustin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
1820 to 1892. So he was a brigadier general for the 8th Illinois Cavalry and colonel of the 105th Illinois Infantry. So it's quite amazing.
Cool. Speaking of war veterans, here's an interesting woman she was in World War II, and they put up this plaque, the Historical Society put up this plaque of Miss Nesbitt.
This is nice. Esther Nesbitt. I didn't even know women fought in World War II.
Yeah, looks like a whole brigade of women.
Yeah. World War II WAC unit landing on Omaha Beach, 1944. 49 enlisted women and 6 officers. That's remarkable. And she was from Sycamore.
Mm-hmm.
Third woman to step ashore. Wow.
I don't know if they hide this information, because obviously they're fighting on the front line.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're just doing nursing.
Yeah, that's her right there.
Or serving. They're actually, looks like they got fighting uniforms on. They're actually on the front line.
Yeah. And they show I like how they point her out with the arrow too. That's amazing. And that's her in 1945, October 25th, getting a medal for the service in France during World War II. That's amazing. You know, right here in Sycamore, Illinois. Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it wasn't for the Historical Society, this wouldn't be here. And just her gravestone, which I think is...
Oh yeah, she's
right
got the flag
there.
on it.
Yeah,
She
it would
died
just
in
have a flag.
1871.
And then if this wasn't here, you just think, okay, she was in the service.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have the information that shows how extraordinary she was, and that she was a hero.
Yeah.
So thank goodness for historical societies that keep these memories alive and keep these people's memories going.
Absolutely, or else they'd be forgotten. I wonder if this is her parents, Oscar and Daisy.
It could be. Yeah, the dates kind of line up.
Yeah. Makes sense. I guess she was, here's some more Nesbitts down here. So this is George. So this was 1909 to 1910. So this must have been maybe her brother, who unfortunately passed away very young. And then we got Jesse here. I'm not sure what relation that is. And then there's a doctor, 1873 to 1922. But I don't see anything on like her husband or anything. Maybe, I don't know.
Guys, I have fun with my channel. It's called Cemetery Oddities. I have fun. I try to make it creative. I come up with this gangster character. I'm not really a ghost. I think you guys probably realize that. Sorry to break that to you. But it's something fun. I have fun on my channel. It's a fun channel. I try to make it fun. So I do these characters and stuff. But this was a really cool walk here today. But I'm actually going to bring out Bugs Moran in the month of October, and I'm going to come up with some really cool... the week before Halloween, I'm coming up with something that might scare you guys, because I'm going to do the ghost thing a little bit extreme, and I'm going to come up with something, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, but when you see it, you might be a little shocked, and it might scare you, so I might put a disclaimer on there, but I got an idea. So, okay.
So stay tuned to Cemetery Oddities for that.
Yeah. So the only mausoleum in this cemetery is this one over here. It's really beautiful the way the bushes are they planted these bushes by the front door. It's got a nice wrought iron door. So if you want to check that one, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no way of looking inside.
No.
I love it when the doors have windows or it's just open so you can look in there.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers.
Just a family or if he has some significance in Sycamore.
I'll have to investigate that and
I
see
love
if
how
I
they
can find
planted these.
something.
Obviously, they planted these a long time ago, and it's just beautiful how it kind of frames the.
That is
mausoleum
wonderful.
in.
What kind of trees are? Look at that. I mean, they don't have.
Some kind of red pine.
Yeah, that's. I don't
Well, it
know if
looks
I've ever
really
seen
red
those.
with my glasses on.
Yeah, I'm sure it
I mean,
does.
it looks bright red.
It is. It is. It is quite red. Let's see if there's anything in the back. Probably not. There's no.
No, it looks like it's solid.
No, it's solid. It's solid. I'll have to look up Rogers and see who that person
see if
was.
you find anything.
Yeah.
Most likely it's just a family.
It's awesome. So Bugs and I were just walking around and we noticed that there's actually 2 family plots for the Ellwoods, because we just talked about Abraham's plot across the cemetery there, and here he is here as well, him and Sarah. And then we have their kids here. Abraham and Sarah had 11 kids, so they were busy. Nancy, Melinda, Eliza, and Elida.
Shoot.
And then here's her sons. Now Chauncey was actually another mayor of Sycamore from 1883 to 1885. And he was appointed postmaster by President Lincoln in 1861 till 1866. Reuben, he was the first mayor of Sycamore, and he was also the U.S. Congressman. You have Alonzo, Livingston, Hiram, James, and Isaac. And Isaac has a fantastic story as well. So Isaac, he's not buried in this cemetery. He's buried in another cemetery near here. But he actually was a guy that, well, he started a barbed wire business. And him and another farmer, Joseph Gliddens, formed a patent for barbed wire, and they started a barbed wire company. And at one point in his life, he was worth $50 million. He was one of the wealthiest men in the nation, so that's a great story, and I'll have to explore that cemetery at another time. Okay, as we...
So, yeah, like you were going to say, because I can read your mind.
Yes.
We're getting into the
Well,
Halloween
that's the thing
season.
about being with a ghost. He knows everything I'm going to say.
So we can do this story here. It's an urban legend.
All right.
We're getting around Halloween. They say that this statue right here, they say that the head moves on this statue. They've been noted by people would come out and her head is looking that way. They come back out at night. They're saying around midnight, which is cliche.
Okay.
And her head is turned.
Okay.
So they're
and I'm saying if the head moves right now, I'm running as fast as I can.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm out of here.
I can tell you, I walk this cemetery in all parts of the night, and nothing happens at this tomb. There is nothing in this around this statue.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
So
but it's a good urban legend.
Yeah, but it is an urban legend that this is a lot of paranormal channels, and I'm not downgrading paranormal channels, but I'm just saying that, I think people, when they see these kind of statues, it looks kind of creepy. She's weather worn.
Yep.
They come up with these stories about, it moves or whatever.
And it looks like she was holding an anchor at one time that half of it broke.
Yeah.
Let me get a close up there of that.
Yeah. It does have an interesting epitaph here.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting epitaph. And this
There
is the
no
grave.
Death. What seems so is transition, meaning there's a life after death,
Yes. Yeah.
or there's more after we die at least.
This is the grave of Willis Bryant. He died in 1892, and he says he was noble. Can't really read that because of the sunlight.
Yeah, a noble, true, and tender son and husband.
Yeah. So that's the urban legend of this.
It's an amazing statue, though.
Yeah, it is a beautiful statue.
One of the things I do have to point out in this Elmwood Cemetery is these wonderful entrances, and there's multiple entrances like this. These entrances were constructed in 1865. These are the original entrances to the cemetery, kept up all these years. It's wrought iron. So you go up here, that is all wrought iron. The cost was over $2,000, which back then was a significant cost back in 1865. And they wanted the most ornate entrances of any cemetery west of Cleveland, Ohio. That was the goal, and they definitely did that. Just beautiful, the entrances to Elmwood Cemetery. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me today. Awesome video, and on top of it, I have finally found Bugs Moran in a cemetery. I've been traveling around to all these cemeteries, and I know he haunts all these different cemeteries.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him before. And I happened to come here today, and Bugs Moran's haunting this cemetery. So go check out his YouTube channel, Cemetery Oddities. Thank you for joining me today. And as always, until next time, keep exploring.
Yes. Yeah, so when you guys are in cemeteries, you never know if I'm going to be there or not, but I am kind of shy. So I'm not going to approach anyone, but you just never know if I'm going to be standing there with you in a cemetery. You never know. I might show up on an EVP, you know. So the things I like to say is, what? I like saying that. So if you hear what, that might be me, you know. Let's see. What other ones might I say? Oh yeah, alcohol. If you hear alcohol, that might be me. But anyway, guys, thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you to everyone watching, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.